What's going on, everyone? I know you guys have been waiting, so here you go. Today we're going to be talking about the world's greatest sniper, Usopp, aka King and Soul King Brook. Usopp doesn't have a ton of stuff, but the things he has have their uses. For one, they make you realize that Usopp isn't a close range character with a ton of combos. He only has 3 hits for his normal attacks, so you would only use it when the person is up close and you want to make some space to start playing the long range game. Once you do, you'll start putting out traps to control the opponent's movement, and you want to do this by using Usopp's triangle. The move puts a trap on the ground that activates when the opponent is close enough, and only you can see it once it's active on the ground. This is a very useful move as it allows you to do other things like super, set up more traps, and even combo. It also breaks the opponent's guard if they're blocking. Don't rely on it too much because after it activates, the human drakes can be sidestepped and they just spin in place. So be sure to pay attention to how your opponent plays around the traps. So normally this is what it looks like when it's just sitting on the ground. Only you can see it when it's like this. But when your opponent is close enough and the human drakes activate, when they come out of the ground, if the opponent sidesteps, they just begin to spin in place, and they basically become useless at that point. So there might be a couple of times where you might have to set out a few of the traps, since at the max you can put out 3. And if you try to put out any more, they just start disappearing one after the next, like that. Usopp can aim 2 of his special attacks, both his L1 square and L1 triangle. Normally it wouldn't be necessary to aim it, but sometimes you'll find yourself in a situation where you'll have to, specifically in some combos. L1 square is the shuriken plant projectile attack, has wide range and really good tracking. When you press and hold R1, the attack changes to the explosive bagworm instead. The difference between the shurikens and the bagworm is that the latter reaches the target faster. The shurikens have to travel a little bit before it reaches the opponent, if they're a good distance away at least. So this is what L1 square looks like normally. And if you hold R1, it changes to the background. And if you're at a distance, shurikens take a little while to get there. But if you do bagworm, it gets there like really quickly. L1 triangle is the exploding skull grass. It takes a little while for it to blow up after shooting it out, but this isn't a problem since you'd only want to be using it in certain situations, such as comboing from the human drake, or to force someone to move around if they're just standing in place waiting for you to mess up. The important thing you have to remember is that the explosion from this move can hurt you too, so be sure to stay a good distance away from it. And so this is the L1 triangle. It's a pretty big explosion. And if you're too close, it can harm you as well. And does a lot of damage to you too, so make sure you're not too close. L1 circle doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it is a good tool for pushing the opponent away from you to create some space. Nothing special about this attack. It serves its purpose of just knocking people back. Only problem with this move is that you can't combo into it normally. The only time you can is whenever it does it by itself in the auto combo. But this is his L1 circle. One good thing about the move is that it does have some good range on it. So you'd mostly use it whenever you're at like this range against the opponent. So just like, I guess whenever you want to just throw it out. Usopp's special movement is pretty hilarious, but it suits his playstyle 100%. He turns around and runs away as quickly as he possibly can. Really good for turning your back on the fight to set up traps, or to get away from an opponent like maybe say Gear 4th Luffy, or somebody like that. So that's what his R1X looks like. And if you hold either left or right, he kind of curves a little bit when he runs as well. So it's pretty good considering the type of character he is. Usopp's super is pretty nice. When you activate his burst, he puts down a trap that's a little special. If the person gets caught, they get launched into the air and then fall back down on a trampoline. There's one weird thing about it though. For some reason, it doesn't work the way it's supposed to all the time. Whenever the person falls onto the trampoline, they have a tendency to tech out while they're in the air. I don't understand why that's a thing, but it's not that big of a deal, and I'll explain why. So when you activate burst, he puts down a trap, and if the person activates it, They get caught by the human drakes and then launch into the air. Now, they tech like that, and I don't understand why. So in order to avoid that, here's what you have to do. After he gets launched, you just super. Don't even worry about the trampoline hitting. Like it's not really that important or anything like that. Like the super still connects and you still get your damage out of it. Not a problem. Even though Usopp isn't a combo heavy character, he does have a combo that is really good, and you'll be using it anytime someone gets caught in a trap. So what you would do here is L1 triangle, heavy guard break to bagworm. You may have to wait a little bit if the person isn't in view yet, because if you release the bagworm too early, chances are that it could miss in the end. Also make sure that you aim the L1 triangle either to the left or the right of the person, because otherwise if it hits them, it could knock them out of the trap. So this is what it would look like. And see there, I had to wait a little bit for him to come down so that I could actually hit him with the bagworm. For combos into super, you can apply that previous combo when trying to do so, but that's only if they get caught by a normal trap. If the opponent walks into the trap that he puts down from the burst activation, you can apply this second combo instead. Light guard break, dash attack, 2 squares into super. Some good stuff right there. Now, if we were to do the other combo instead, using a normal trap, we would do the same combo that we saw earlier. And this combo actually kills instead. So either one of them, that's the one that you would definitely want to go for. But, you know, depending on the situation, you gotta pick. So that's all I got for Usopp. And as usual, if there's anything that I missed, please just let me know and I'll do a follow-up video. Same like I did for Frankie. And now for one of my favorite Straw Hat members, Soul King Brook. So, Brook has one thing that nobody else has, a really floaty jump. Even his jump attacks are different. He can attack twice in the air after jumping, and can even do either 2 squares, 2 triangles, square and triangle, or triangle and square. One thing to remember is that he can actually cancel his float by pressing X again. You can use this to land faster after doing his jump attacks, but you can't attack in the air again if you've cancelled the float afterwards. So if you try to do something like, say for instance, jump square, X, square, land on the ground, and then try to combo, it doesn't work that way. So this is what his jump looks like. It's really floaty. You cancel it, it makes him land way faster. And he can attack in the air twice. So square, square, triangle, triangle, square, triangle, and then triangle, square. Now he lands way faster if you do X afterwards instead of floating like he would. Brook's triangle attack works in the same way that Boa Hancock's beam does. It's unblockable, hits at a specific range, and can be comboed from. The only difference is that it can't be comboed into, nor can he get as much damage out of it as she could. So this is what his triangle looks like. Plays music. And the most you could probably get out of it is his heavy guard break. Now there's one other combo that you could do from that, but it doesn't do nearly as much damage. That's as much as you can get from that. So yeah, trust me, heavy guard break is way better of an option. Brook's L1 square is a simple damage dealing move. He can't combo into it by normal means, only from down square does it ever connect. This is what his L1 square looks like. And so both his L1 triangle and L1 circle look the same but work differently. L1 triangle would mostly be used at the end of combos, while L1 circle is a combo starter. You can block L1 triangle, but you can't block L1 circle. One really good thing about his L1 circle is that it can break Logia guard. So if you dodge someone's attacks, and you think that they're going to put up log gear guard to cover their back, you should just L1 circle them and get a free combo afterwards. So L1 triangle and L1 circle. And you'll notice it freezes them for a sec and leaves them standing, allowing you to basically get a combo off of it. Brook's special movement is very similar to Usopp's, but unlike Usopp, he can't turn left and right while doing it. However, he can run longer if you hold R1 and X down. So that's how far he goes normally, but if you hold it down, he runs really far away. For the super, Brook ensnares his opponent with his music and slashes them while they're distracted. Before I get to the combos, I should talk about a very unique mechanic that Brook has. If you look under his health bar, you'll see a music score. Now, what is that for, you might ask? Well, when you do his specials, if you hold down the attack when it hits, he gets a music note from it. Depending on the order that you land the attacks, he gives the team either an attack or a defense buff. One route for a defense buff is L1 square, L1 circle, and then L1 triangle. So L1 square, L1 circle, and L1 triangle. Now he'll play his violin and gives himself a buff, and it applies to his teammates as well. Now for the attack buff, it's L1 circle, L1 triangle, and then L1 square. Alright, so now that we know about that, we can get to the combos. For regular hits, you can do 4 squares to L1 triangle, or 3 squares down square to L1 square. And then 3 squares down square to L1 triangle. From jump square, you can do square down square to L1 square. If you hit with L1 circle, you can do one of two things. You can either do L1 triangle to get quick damage, or go for 2 squares down square to L1 square. And then L1 triangle for that quick damage, or 2 squares, L1 square. His best combo into super is L1 circle to 4 squares. Alright, so that's 2 more characters down. And the next one up is Doflamingo, so stick around for that one. Oh, and oh man, I almost forgot to mention that something that I just figured out recently. So apparently holding R1 during special attacks and supers can increase the damage that they do by very little. It doesn't seem that significant at first, but when you want to kill and you know that the combo you do into it would normally leave them with a little bit of health left, then you realize that if you held R1, you might just kill them from it. So with Brook, I'll show you a small example of what I mean. So like the combo that I did before didn't really do that much. Well, it didn't kill at least. But comboing it into his super while I'm holding R1 will make it kill. Normally you'd get the cutscene during the super when it's a guaranteed kill, but because of the life drain from the freeze, the game doesn't realize that it'll kill by the time it gets to that part of the super. And since I just recently found this out, I'll be making a video soon of combos to super that wouldn't normally kill, unless you were holding R1. It's actually a pretty important bit of information, so I figured I'd share that. And so Doflamingo video coming soon, and so I'll see you guys then. See you later.